Hello everyone. First of all, welcome to JMRS Medical College, Dharpur, Patan. So this is going to be your first lecture in physiology. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss about some basic aspects of the subject. What is physiology? What we are going to learn throughout the year? How we are going to learn that? What is its clinical implication? As well as how it is going to be useful in your future career. What is the exam pattern in the subject? So all this we are going to cover in today's lecture. So simply putting, physiology is the branch of science that is concerned with the functions of the living organism and particular parts or organs involved in this particular function, as well as the physical process involved in that particular function. Physiology, it is very vast field and it can be divided into numbers of subdivisions. For example, viral physiology, bacterial physiology, cellular physiology, plant physiology, human physiology, mammalian physiology and amphibian physiology. Now in first year, our primary focus it is human physiology. So whenever we are referring to the term physiology, just consider it as a human physiology. Of course, we are going to discuss also some aspect of mammalian and amphibian physiology. Before we go into detail about functions of human bodies, first we have to discuss about levels of structural organization. Now, the basic organization, it is first done at chemical level. Different atoms, they combine to form molecules. Next is structural organization at cell level. Different molecules, they form organelles by combining, such as nucleus and mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus. All these together, they form cells. Now cell is basic functional unit of our body. Next integration, it is seen at tissue level. Now different similar cells and their surrounding materials, they form tissues. Now these multiple tissues together, they form particular organ. For example, kidney, heart, liver or urinary bladder. There are many organs in our body. Next structural organization, it is seen at organ system level. Over here, many organs together, they form particular system. For example, urinary bladder, kidneys, they together form excretory system. Many other systems like respiratory system, cardiovascular system, nervous system, all of them together, they work and form structural organization at organism level. We are going to discuss about all these systems throughout the year and we are going to learn every single aspect of these systems. The different systems that we are going to learn throughout the year, those are first circulatory system, it is also known as cardiovascular system. The organs in it, they are heart, blood vessels. All of them together, they pump blood in entire body and it serves many other functions. Next system that we are going to discuss is digestive system. Next, we are going to discuss about respiratory system, then urinary system. We are also going to discuss about skeletal system and muscular system. Next, we are going to discuss about integumentary system, immune system, nervous system, endocrine system and reproductive system in human body. All these systems we are going to discuss for an entire year, so you can understand that how much depth we are going to discuss about it. You must be knowing basic aspects of all these systems, but Over here in physiology, we are going to discuss about every single aspect. What is their purpose, what is their function, how they are achieving it, how they are working in coordination with other system, what are the challenges they are facing and how they overcomes it. So our entire year it is going to be dedicated to learn all these bodily functions. Now physiology, it is very interesting subject. You do not need to mug up anything over here. Everything you can understand it. There is reason behind everything and everything is well explained. So usually our learning approach in physiology is why and how. So whatever functions are there in our body, we are going to ask question like why do we breathe, why does blood flow, why does our heart beat, in fact why does sometimes our heart beat faster, sometimes why it beats slower. So we are going to discuss about all these functions, and once we got the answer of why, next we are going to ask the question how. What it means is that once we know why do we breathe, next we are going to discuss how do we breathe, what is the process behind it. So entire year we are going to learn about different functions in these methods. Along with that, we are going to also discuss some of the clinical aspects of these systems. Our teaching method, it includes mainly lectures and practicals. Also we go by the way of demonstration and tutorials, as well as sometimes if feasible we go for small group teachings. There is also self-directed learnings in which you students are going to do some assignments as well as seminars, or you are going to make some models as well as charts. Now in physiology, you are going to perform practicals in different laboratories. Basically you are going to work in 4 laboratories: hematology laboratory, amphibian laboratory, mammalian lab and clinical lab. In hematology lab, you are going to perform various practicals on human blood. Of course you are going to use your own blood, so be ready for it. You are going to make slides of your blood. You are going to examine and observe and learn about different cells in your blood, like red blood cells, white blood cells. You are going to learn about their morphology, as well as you are going to learn about their total count, the conditions in which they are going to increase or decrease. Along with that, you are going to also estimate your hemoglobin. So basically you are going to deal with practicals related to blood in hematology. Next is amphibian physiology and mammalian physiology. Now of course they are named as laboratories, but nowadays you are not going to perform any practical on this, any amphibian or mammalian. Rather we are going to learn about different graphs obtained from previously done practicals on amphibian and mammalian. Next is clinical laboratory. Now this is very important aspect. Over here you are going to learn about different parameters as well as systems of our body. Like over here you are going to learn about how to measure blood pressure, how to measure your pulse. You are going to learn about different aspects of respiratory system, cardiovascular system. You are going to also learn about central nervous systems, practical implementation, what is reflex, what is the power of our body's muscles, etc. This is going to be very helpful when you are exposed to patients in second year onward, because if you have no idea about how normal things are, it is going to be very difficult for you to learn about abnormal things. So in first year Our main aim is to learn everything within normal limit, so in future you can learn about different diseases. Now coming to what is clinical implementation of this subject. How good command over physiology can help you become a good doctor. So if you have knowledge about every aspect of normal functions of human body, if something goes out of normal, if something becomes abnormal, you can easily diagnose it and treat it. If you have a good command over physiology, there is subject in second year, pathology and pharmacology. Pathology, it mostly deals with blood. So if you learn hematology properly in first year, it will become very easy for you to learn pathology. In pharmacology, you are going to deal about, or you are going to learn about different drugs and their effects on body. So if you have basic idea about how our body works, then it will be easier for you to understand how these drugs will act on our body. In third year, that is in third final, there is subject medicine. If you have good command over physiology, then it will be very easy for you to understand the different aspects of medicine department, like what are the disease, what are its clinical symptoms, signs, how you can diagnose it, and how you can treat it. From last year onwards, there is implementation of a new course in medical, which is known as competency based medical education, in which there is more emphasis is given in early exposure, or that is early clinical exposure. So learning physiology, it is very important for learning new course of MBBS also. Now coming to the books to refer to learn about physiology, there are so many books. For example, textbook of medical physiology by Guyton and Hall, Ganong's review of medical physiology, textbook of physiology by Dr. A.K. Jain, textbook of physiology by Indu Khurana. So all these books, they cover most of the aspect that you need to learn in first year. But what you can do is, you do not need to buy all these books or any of these books right away. Whenever you come to the college, you can study all these books in library, and you can choose one book. You should go through it for entire year, or even you can take guidance of any of your senior when you come to the college, because it is not possible for you to go through all these books. So in first year, you can choose any of the book that you feel comfortable to read and from which you can remember easily. In case of practical, usually you do not need to buy any practical books. Of course, there are some books available in the market, but our journal that we are going to give you from physiology, it is mostly enough for you for the practical purpose. Also, in new competency based medical education, logbook is mandatory for you guys. So that will also be given to you from college, which will be included different kinds of assignments that you are supposed to do, as well as some other useful material. Now coming to the pattern of internal assessment in physiology. In theory, there will be first internal examination, which will have fraction of 15%. Then there will be second internal examination, which will have 15%. Then there will be preliminary examination, which will be having 30% of fraction. Then there will be day-to-day assessment also, which will carry weightage of 30%, and there will be 10% weightage given for attendance. All these together, they will constitute 100%, or if we talk about it in marks, it will be of total 100 marks. Same goes in practical. First internal examination, it will have weightage of 15%. Second internal examination, it will also have weightage of 15%. Preliminary examination, it will have 30%. And day-to-day assessment, journal and logbook, all this together they will carry fraction of 30%. And attendance, it will carry 10% weightage. Suppose, for example, your first internal examination, it is taken of 50 marks, out of which whatever your score is, it will be converted from 15 marks and it will be added into your internal assessment. Now the very important thing about internal assessment is you need to have at least 50% total. Again, let me revise, 50% total in theory and practical in order to appear in final examination. If your total of theory and practical is not more than 50% of your internal, you will not be allowed to appear into final examination. Along with this 50% total, you have to minimum 40% separately in theory and practical. What it means that if your total is 50%, but in theory you scored below 40% separately, and in practical you scored above 60%, that will become total of more than 50%. But in this scenario you are not eligible to appear in the final examination. So one more time, 50% total of theory and practical, and separately minimum 40% in theory and practical. Along with that, 75% of theory attendance and 80% of practical attendance, it is must in order to appear into final examination. One more thing, if during this corona pandemic there is slight change in this assessment system, then it will be informed to you in well advance. Coming to the final examination, again it is divided into theory and practical. Theory in physiology, in final examination, it will be divided into paper 1 and paper 2. Both these papers, they are of 100 marks, out of which MCQs are of 20 marks and written theory is of 80 marks. In order to pass in theory, you have to score total 50%, or you can say if you are considering it as a mark, then out of 200 you have to have more than 100, then you will be considered as a passed. Along with that, separately you have to get 40% in each of these paper. So again, one more time, totally 50% and individually 40% in both paper. Coming to the practical examination, it will be of 100 marks, which will consist of practicals, hematology, human physiology or clinical physiology, experimental physiology, spotting and theory viva. In final examination, in practical as well, you have to get minimum of 50% in order to pass. If someone gets fail, then supplementary exam will be taken within 90 days of declaration of results. Any student will be given maximum 4 attempts or 4 years to clear first year. So this is your final examination pattern and all other rules. All these rules are latest, but if there is some kind of change done by NMC, then you will be updated according to that. So with this we finish our today's lecture. Thank you very much.